Hello, y'all. We're going to try to make this plot real quick before these kids come in and ruin my good time. We're going to be focusing on using the package. It's called ggplot. I think it stands for Grammar of Graphics. I don't know what that means, but I know it's really useful. And what we're going to do is this plot down here. Now, I know the first thing we have to think about is how we're going to map our different data onto the visual aesthetics. And so I see down here, I have baseline in 8 weeks. Down on the x-axis, I've got GLVEF, whatever that means, here on the y. And I see another piece of information here. Apparently I have 3 different groups, and it looks like I've got them in different facets. So that's the kind of starting point of how we're going to do this plot. The next thing to do is to think about how we have the different geometries, you see, and they got points, and we got lines, and we got big fat lines like this line and this line and that line, and we got a little blobby shaped thing over here, and we got some more points and some lines right there. So we got to think about how those different geometries are going to come into play. And then we got things like labels, and all of that in the overall appearance of said plot. Now, let's come over here. Now, what I'm going to tell you real quick is that the data are already online. They're at this thing right here. You can just download it and run the code, and there you go. So where's the first place to start when we're doing a ggplot? We start with gg and plot. All right, and we know the first argument is always going to be the data itself. Now, there's a little bit, I already know because I cheated, a little bit of a thing we got to do to these data first, actually, to get these labels right. See, one of the things with ggplot is that it does a lot of smart things about how it labels things and what words it uses. And so what you got to really do is you got to make sure that your things are labeled properly before you start to put them into ggplot. All right, so we run that real quick. Now, some of you will notice I mostly focus on Dippler in terms, or dplyr, my friends sometimes correct me. You'll see a little bit of that, and that's the kind of the verbs I'm using to manipulate these data. Now, let's go ggplot, and then we have a plot data frame, or a tibble, whatever the fuck that is. All right, now I already said something. Now, hold on a minute, let's have a look. Names, plot df, boom. All right, oh, there's that GLVF thing. That makes a lot of sense. That's on my y-axis. All right. Now, I'm involved in clinical trials, and oftentimes we call it group with different treatment effects and arms. That makes sense right there. And then clearly, baseline 8 weeks, that sounds like time to me. Oh, nope, got that wrong. Sorry, get rid of that. Boom, 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 boom. Time. And boom, boom. Bang. All right, now I already know something. Let's see, geom, point. That's those little dots. I can hear the kids wrestling around. And I know I was doing that by different groups. Now, one of the things about ggplot, like everything else with R, is there's always a bunch of different ways to do things. And this old stupid thing switches my keyboard all the time to American style. Woohoo! All right, let's just see. Now, that's the simplest thing I can think of to try to reproduce that plot. Let's see what that does real quick. Okay, all right, that's pretty close. That seems to be like we're on the right track. Now, what other geometries? We had another geometry, and that was geom line. And then, if I remember correctly, we know that line type was dashed. All right, bang, 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 bang. I guess I got the kids watching Paw Patrol, so they ought to be pretty good. Oh, no, that's very strange. Okay, I've got some ideas there. It's clearly not recognized. And see, every one of these dots is a patient measured at baseline, before randomization in the trial, and then 8 weeks later. And so these dots should be connected across the thing there. And so what I think we need to do is we need to understand that there's some grouping here going on by ID. We got an ID variable. So group equals ID. And see if we come up here to my names. There it is, ID right there. Okay, very good. Now let's see if that'll fix that right up. Hot damn, that's looking pretty good right there. Now, what other one did I have? I had that blobby thing. That's geom violin. Boom, 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 boom. And what does that look like? Okay, yeah, that's all right. Let's see. We're gonna switch that up a little bit. Grade 90. I can never remember if it's grade 90 or grade 10 at all. But anyway, we'll give that a shot, because remember, with everything, you just run it, try it. If it doesn't work, you just fix it up. No, that doesn't seem right, does it? I'm doing something quite wrong. I put the thing in the wrong thing. Every time I make a mistake with ggplot or anything else in R, the 99% of the time it's because I've just done the wrong thing. I just made a typo. That's all it is. Now, these things layer. Now, see how my points are all gone? What you got to understand with ggplot is that things matter in the order. So we got to run that again. We just keep running and run it and run it and run it. All right, now I know sacrilege time. I've got a bunch of other themes wrapped up, and we're gonna go ahead and switch over to a light background, not the gray background. It's nothing personal. Don't email me and stuff. All right, we're getting close now. Let's see. We gotta get rid of this time down here. I can see it's baseline in 8 weeks. I don't need anything to tell me what the damn time is. That's pretty self-explanatory, isn't it? All right, here we go. I can hear kids. They're saying something about Paw Patrol. Chicoletta. I don't even understand. No, shoot. Ooh, always the wrong thing. Trying to talk and do this is damn hard. All right, GVF, and that's percent. Yeah, gotta give it a scale. I always gotta have a scale for things. Sorry. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. There we go. All right, now we're doing pretty good. Now, I remember there was a big fat daddy line in each one of these things. And what we're going to do there is put in geom smooth with method equals LM for linear model, and SE equals false because those standard error shaded bit looks like junk anyway. Not very helpful, I don't think. And then we're going to make that line black. Color equals black. Nice. And then you can hit the little rerun and just rerun the whole thing. It's real smart. It knows what you're doing. That didn't work at all. I think I know the problem. If I look at something like the time variable, right? That's the other thing. If I haven't made a typo and there's a problem, it's always because the class of the object is not what I understand it to be. Now, a factor, what I've learned from some experiences having time as a factor variable when you're trying to do geom smooth with method LM, it gets a little confused. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to make a switch up. All right. We're going to do that. We're going to make time numeric for just a little bit and see what happens. Oh, no, I got something wrong there. Oh, I'm missing a parentheses. No, I'm all right there. Boom, 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 boom. Well, when in doubt, I can't always figure it out on the fly. I just have a look and see what's going on. Oh, I see what I did. I just didn't go highlight enough and do it. Oh, go, boy. Okay, we're kind of getting somewhere now. It's looking a little funny. Now we kind of come kind of far. That seemed to blow things up a little bit. Now, but you can see my big fat black line is there. At least I got that done. And I'm also missing the other things. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down to the full set of code that gets us all the way back to this big plot we were doing from the get-go. Because I can't remember off the top of my head what all the different things I had to do with it. I remember this plot took me a little bit of time to figure out. So let's just scroll down and have a look at what we wound up with. Now, I'm going to tell you something else. Like everything else with R, there's 478 ways to do things, and there's always a more elegant way than what you've done it. You know what? You got to not worry about that. You just got to make the damn plot, get it in the paper, get it to the publication, get it done, right? You don't have time to try to make it a perfect plot. So if you want to email me and tell me some smart city way to doing this, that's fine. You email me, but I know I got the plot done, huh? So what I wound up doing here was I did time as numeric, right? Now, we know a factor variable is just really an underlying integer with some labels slapped on top of it. So I did time as numeric, and then here under scale continuous x, here I got breaks equal 1 and 2 and baseline in 8 weeks. And that's how I solved that problem, making the plots look real good. Then, when we got into the part of having to do those point ranges, right? If we go back to here, this bad boy, putting these in just the means and standard deviations, what I had to do there is give a different thing for every single one of these. And that way, what I could do is nominate where the x-axis value would be for each one of those point ranges, you see? And so here I'm using filter from Dippler or dplyr to do plot df, arm equals placebo, time equals baseline, and then boom at 0.5. So I know this is 1, I know this is 2 down here, and so this is 0.5. And now you caught on to the plot at this point, 2.5 for this one, placebo, and 8 weeks. And this 2, and that's 2.5, right? And that bang, 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 bang. It's just the same thing. You just cut and paste that bad boy. Again, there's probably some clever way of doing it, but fuck it. This is the way that worked. And then we're going to get rid of this. We had to get rid of the legend because it's totally pointless. We probably shouldn't even have these shapes anyway. They don't even make much of a difference. Put my labels on. Make sure I get a 0 axis in there just because it helps with a little bit of truly understanding things. And then remove some of the other stuff. Maybe there's a thing that would have done that automatically, but whatever. Now all that stuff's gone. So if we were to start over, we just clean up that environment. We get rid of all the plots. We get rid of everything. And just start from fresh, right? You could just run this whole thing right here. We'll skip that bit. Boom. We'll code that out. This is my favorite shortcut. What is it? Control-Shift-C. Boom. Gone. And then run it. And there it is. Ain't she a beaut?